Hey everyone, welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. And today I have with me Mr. William Featherstone III. How are
Thank
you,
you.
William?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm so excited to have you here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're going to let everybody get into the studio audience, get their virtual seats, grab your beverage right quick. If we don't have to worry about anything getting on the carpet or anything because you're at home. So just grab your virtual drinks and let's get ready to have a great show. Make sure if you have a notepad or your electronic device, grab that quickly as well, because we want to make sure that you capture the information that William is going to share. Keep in mind that you can also just go back and watch the replay and take notes from that. So if you don't have anything, don't go running around now and miss the whole show, okay? Let's see here. People are already coming in, and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show, Mr. William Featherstone III. I am going to go ahead and introduce him, and we're going to jump right in so we don't miss a moment of today's show. Mr. William Featherstone III. I think that's very formal, right?
Yeah, it sounds regal, right?
Yeah, it really is. Okay. He says, I help founders, entrepreneurs, brands tell their story through creative marketing that brings awareness to the community that they serve. Again, William Featherstone III, he helps founders, entrepreneurs, brands, all types of brands, tell your stories to the communities that you serve. Welcome, William Featherstone III.
Thank you for having me. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with your audience just a little bit about what I know, my experience, as an entrepreneur, and just how I help people in general. Branding is one of the things that a lot of businesses kind of miss out on. We get to the point where we want to launch things,
Mhm.
and it takes purpose and intent first before you get out there and just create things. If you're going to do it for longevity and be sustainable. So that's what I do for people. That's what I help people out with, and that's what I'm most excited about.
I'm excited. I forgot to accept your friend request. I'm looking down to see, but you know what? Once we go live, it's hard for me to figure it all out too. So
No
I'll
worries.
work better on that branding piece.
No
Okay.
worries.
So anyway, I'm excited about having you on because you were referred to me into the show, and I was quite excited when Toya actually
Yeah.
told me about you, and she's utilized your services, and all of her events top notch. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is really nice.
Mhm.
So I was really honored when she shared for you to be on the show. So thank you, Toya. Now, your journey, I'm sure you didn't just become, I mean, everybody wants to become somebody special, but
Mhm.
how do you really start from where you grew up and came to
Mhm.
become this guy that now can tell people how to brand themselves?
Awesome. Well, I'm from a little town called Rock Hill, South Carolina,
Oh,
right down the street from Charlotte. And I've always been, a creative. I could draw, musically inclined. Went to school for music, but marketing and branding was nowhere near where I was trying to go. It just kind of happened. It came out of necessity for me. At some point in my journey, I decided that I wanted to, start helping other people, other brands with things. And some of the things that I wanted to have in place were, a good logo, website, nice graphics, so that when I communicated what the services that I provide, that it resonated with people, it stood out amongst everybody else, and I kind of set the tone prior to, right, with what type of business I was and what type of clientele I wanted to attract. So a lot of this has really happened just based off of sheer need for myself. I had to be resourceful. I didn't have uh, the means to go pay someone to do all these things for me.
mm,
Um, and this happened when I was in college. So I had a lot of time, but I didn't have a lot of money. So during that time, I spent just diving into learning as much as I could about, how to build my brand, how to build my marketing, how to create things through Photoshop and Dreamweaver and all these different softwares, learning coding. And then, out of that, I did pretty good work to where people were asking for me to do it for them. And it just kind of happened. That's kind of like an overview of kind of how I fell into this place. But yeah, it literally just happened based off of me fulfilling a need for myself and others seeing that value that I was bringing for myself and wanting it for themselves as well, you know?
Well, you sound like all of my sons, actually. So
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but all of my sons literally sound just identical to you. They know the coding, the back office stuff, the Photoshop, Canva, all of those things, the website development. And I'm like, wow, I mean, it takes a lot of, way beyond some college experience, it takes a lot of determination and being resilient and relentless to stay devoted to learning the level of information you have to learn for it to really become an end product, you know?
Right, definitely, and it's forever changing, right? And in the technology space, when I was doing it, I was just doing physical flyers, right? My journey started in college, like I said before. I'm a music education major, but I was a part of an organization, and I became a social chair. And we were having people design flyers for us, and we were paying them, and they were terrible. So I was like, "Hey, man, let me figure out how we can design some of these things, save some of the money on the back end, and at least it looks the way that we want it to look."
Right.
The guy before me gave me a 2-hour crash course because he didn't have time. He was like a senior about to graduate. He was like, "Hey, man, here, this is what you need to do," and he taught me this program called Dreamweaver. I don't even know if it exists anymore, but it was Dreamweaver was the software. And I just learned how to be able to manipulate images and all that other stuff online. Then I learned Photoshop. Then I started to learn Flash and coding, and then we from there things just started to pick up, and I started to see that things are always changing in technology, and you got to be able to pivot as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and be able to provide value to people when it's needed.
Wow, that's interesting. The coding thing alone is but I don't know. For me, it's overwhelming. If I'll say
Yeah.
I just want like a basic thing changed on something, and
Mm-hmm.
then I realize all of those HTML, whatever, I don't know, whatever's happening. I'm like, what is all of that? That's like me speaking in tongues to
It's a,
in church.
it's a
I'm like,
whole nother language.
room and I'm just praising God. If I just start speaking in tongues, people will be like, what is she talking about? That's kind of what the coding thing is for me. It's a foreign language. So how do people that are in my shoes that really don't understand the coding and all of that back office stuff be successful when it comes to branding? And I know I'm speaking on behalf of my audience right now, because many of them are my age. So
Right.
how do you help us?
Right. So when it comes down to that, it's instead of just hopping into coding, where I start with people now is like, what's your purpose? What are you building and what are you trying to accomplish?
Okay.
Right. Because some of the things you may not need to have coding. You may not be the person that should be learning coding. Maybe you should be the person that has somebody that is an expert in the space, and you focus on attracting your clients, being able to speak to your clients' pain points. I don't suggest that everybody try to learn, especially when you understand what your business is. But if you do want to learn, they now have YouTube. I started out with a lot of magazines.
You can just save that part of the interview. No, my audience, we don't want to learn. We just want to get William Featherstone the third or somebody. When you have a name like that alone, we know you know what you're talking about. William Featherstone the third, you are already a legacy. Okay. So we just want to put it in your hands and know that it's going to be a great end result. It's like, this is what I tell my sons and people that work with me and different things. All I want to do is I want to love on people and hug and cry with you, or, I just want to hear your story and let your story be told to my community. That's the stuff I do not want to do, the extra stuff. And I know it, I just don't. William Featherstone, I need a William. I need you, William.
You're the ideal client for me, right? Because
tell me your ideal client.
Yeah, because you already realize what you want to do, right? You understand exactly where your lane is, and you want to be the expert in your space. You don't want to pick up all the other stuff and try to figure it out. And that takes someone that is seasoned. That takes someone that's mature in their business, that understands their lane. Take somebody that knows themselves to be able to say, all right, man, that's not what I want to pick up. Here's where I want to live. And if I can build the things around me to help support me to only do this, then that for me, that's like, you're speaking my language. I can come in and help you because you're open to help.
Good. Okay. That makes me smile bigger to know that. So how do you go about getting your clients to, for them to, I know you're now telling about your services here on the Kim Jacobs Show, but how do people connect with you?
Yeah. A lot of people have connected with me. I've been doing this for 13 years, and for the past 4 years, I've been doing it full time. And a lot of people have connected with me just through word of mouth. It's a lot of just, hey, I seen what you've done. Who helped you do that? And people connected me. So my network, I've been blessed enough to have a network that speaks highly of me, and I show up for them, and execute on the things that I say that I do. My personal brand is one that that stands the test of time. And if you hear about me and connect with me, you know that it's coming from an ideal source. So a lot of things that's been happening as of recently has just been word of mouth. But we're being more purposeful with promoting just this brand aspect, this foundational part of how to build your business. And we've been doing it through, I partner with someone that is a brand architect, somebody that I respect, someone I've known for years, and he's a graphic designer, one of the people that I used to reach out to. His name is Anthony Bryce. And
I watched your video with him. He's very effective too.
Yeah, he's tremendous in what he does. And so I partner with him to launch a business called Legacy. So it's funny that you say, you're already someone's legacy, and that's literally the name of our brand, Legacy. To help others with just establishing this brand, getting clear in what your brand is, and how to create that guide for yourself, so that when you go and work with anybody else, whether you work with a designer, whether you work with an intern, whether you work with someone building out your website, you have a guide that you can take with you that explains what your brand is, what you do, why it exists, who you really help, so that people can actually get on board your vision instead of coming in kind of inserting their vision or their ideas. Hey, you're coming on board this, here's what it looks like, and here's how you can help me out. It's clear up front. But legacy.com is probably how people can connect with us now. We have forms and everything on there so that people can just share a little bit about their business, get to know a little bit about us.
It's and, 2 L's?
Yep, 2 L's.
Okay, so legacy with 2 L's, LLEGACI.com, LLEGACI.com. And that's for all of the podcast listeners that aren't seeing the screen, so you'll know how to get in touch with William Featherstone III. I'm going to always say the whole name.
I appreciate it. That's me. I said, I appreciate that. That's me.
Because, I know some people, Will and, shorten it and everything, but I'm like, no, William Featherstone III.
Right. It's a mouthful.
So when people are trying to establish what their niche is, or niche, or what I don't even know the right word, because that's the whole tricky. That's like tomato. Which one is it? Niche or niche?
I say them both. Niche.
How do people establish what their niche or niche market is?
Mm-hmm. So I can only speak for me in this space, right? And kind of how I got where I am. It took me actually experience some things. I had to go out and do graphic design, and then I realized, hey, graphic design really isn't my passion. I learned how to do coding. Realized that that's a lot of language to learn. It's forever changing. That may not be what I really want to do. And it took me just kind of going through a smorgasbord of different things, different activities, to really realize, after all of these experiences, what I really want to do is help people tell their story, share their brand, understand the overarching view of their business, and being able to help them communicate that to their audience. So for me, it took me having to actually experience it, right? Mm-hmm. For some, they kind of know this already. They know what makes them happy. They know what they enjoy doing. At that point, it's just getting clear on how you're going to serve the community. So what you're going to provide, how you're going to serve the community, and then how you're going to communicate that to them. At that point, you can kind of niche down and pay attention to your customers, pay attention to your clients. You can niche down who your clients are, right? Okay. I can hear you tell me where you want to be and what you want to do, and say, that's my ideal client. Or I can hear you say, yeah, I really want to learn how to do this, that, and the other, and determine that, that's not my niche. That's not the person that I really want to help. So I think it comes with a combination of of time and experience. You know,
Okay.
you got to go and do the work. And then from there, being able to clearly define, you know, what you really want to do and clearly define what your purpose is and how you really want to serve the community. Then you can start to really fill out, all right, this is the niche that I want to be in, and here's who I want to help.
So do you think that we all have a brand, whether we think we do or we don't? Because when I see people from all walks of life, I always attach some type of brand with them, even like down to even just me always wearing my pen.
Right.
That's part of my brand, even though it was not a welcomed part of my brand. It's just something that happened in my life that I have to, you know, I don't want to start talking about that because, but it's like, it's a part of me, you know what I mean? Now, like I want to be buried with my pen.
Gotcha.
Does that, so whether, no matter what I do in life or where I am in life, whether I'm in church or on a show, or I'm a guest on a show, or I'm hosting a show, I'm going to have my pen on, you know?
No, we all have personal brands, right? When you think of somebody that can do something for you, right? When you think of somebody to, you know, cut your lawn, there's somebody that comes to mind. When you think of somebody that, you know, does websites and design, somebody comes to mind. Your son comes to mind, you know? So we all have a personal brand, and we should all be very aware of that, right? All the way down to how you dress. I think something new for me has become my hair, right? Since I haven't been able to get a haircut during COVID, this has become a part of my brand now.
Do you use that brush thing too?
Sometimes. My wife tells me to use it sometimes. So, but yeah. So I think we all have personal brands, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. Is when you understand your purpose, that's ultimately what your brand is. Like, you know what you stand for and how, when people see you, what you want them to think. And that's what a brand is. That's what a brand is for your business. That's what a brand is for your personal being. You know, how you dress, how you talk, how you present yourself. All of that's important because that's the first thing people see. You know, it's the first thing people recognize before you even open your mouth. And you got to think about that for your business as well. Like, what is the first thing that you want people to know about you before, you know, you even start to promote to them and start to push a product to them? How can they get to know you prior to that?
Good. Yeah. So that's why teeth are important.
Right. Have them on. Try to have them on.
Smile, and you know, I'm like, and I don't take it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't have teeth, then you got to get false teeth. That's fine too. Whatever it takes. If I don't have teeth, I'm gonna go get some false teeth because I know a smile is important to me. You know. So it's not about whether I have my own teeth or false teeth or whatever. Whatever God bless you with, just use it. You know.
All about your presentation. How are you going to present yourself? You know? That's
interesting. Well, what other advice that you can share with people that are trying to establish their brands, and they may already know where they are. And again, guys, you all are my studio audience, so make sure that you take a moment to ask any questions that you may have of my guests, so that I'm not just asking the questions on your behalf, but you may be able to speak on your own behalf and get clarity on what you're doing with your own businesses as well. So if people are in the process of establishing they know their niche market, they know what they want their brand to be, but when it comes out, it's not always what they had in their mind. What about people like that? What advice do you give them? It's like, no, that does not match what you say you want to be. Or like, I know I want to be an international television talk show host with all production paid for. That's a daily show in front of a live studio audience. It's not hard for me to say that. That's nice. But what steps are you taking to make that a reality?
So there's brand, and then there's strategy, right? Your brand is important because this determines your purpose, you know, why you exist and how it begins. It's also, you know, the influence that you want to have. So it ultimately is like what you want to bring to the table. And then what problem are you solving? I keep bringing that up because that's one of the things that's not always communicated very well. You know, how do you bring solutions to your market? You have to be able to clearly define those first, right? So that you know who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, what their pain points are, the things that are important to them. After you understand that, then you can get into like, how do I get in front of these people? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? What really resonates with them? Is it more video? Is it more pictures? Is it more written out blogs? Is it that I need to be featured on other platforms that they're on? Do they read Forbes? Do they read Inc? You know, figuring out where these people are and then getting in front of them and sharing with them those three main things: your purpose, your influence, and your problem solving. That's like
your purpose. Well, you brushed past that real quick. Wait a minute now. So Morgan can type this. Your purpose, your what?
Your purpose, your brand's influence, and the problem that you solve.
Okay. So your purpose, your influence, and the problem that you solve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of times I've heard people say like WIIFM, what's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
People want to know what is in whatever they're going to be coming to tune into or to experience, whether it's through some type of event online or face to face. They want to know what's going to be the takeaway for them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so we always have to paint the picture. Do we constantly, and you tell me, William, like, do we need to constantly share what our message is and what pain point we're serving? Or is that something that by providing the content
mm-hmm.
that you provide goes to show that that's what you do?
Yep. It's by providing the content, right? You can do it every time, but once you understand the issues that people are having, like a lot of people want to know, how can they create a website, right? How can I do it for cheap? How can I do it for like a medium cost? And then how can I get it done right? So for me, it's like, well, why don't I just give them the solutions to it? I can answer their questions through a blog post. I can create a video to show them how they can go and build their own website using different platforms, right? I'm answering the question, or I'm hitting a pain point and answering it through content, right? That's one way. But as you're establishing your brand and letting people know about you, it is kind of important to always share with, what the value is that you're bringing to the market. And to make sure that they can clearly define that when they see you, oh, I know that she talks about balance. When I see her videos pop up, it must be something about balance in life. I see Will, he said it so many times on the show. He probably talking about branding or marketing when I see a video and I'm scrolling through. So it's important to start off that way, but eventually your audience, if you're listening to your people, they'll start to tell you what they want to know more of. And then you create content based on that. What do you want to see? What do you want to learn?
So let me give an example, because I'm a visual person and I like role playing. Mm-hmm. So that way I can apply what I'm learning. Right. So an example would be, hey, let me get, it doesn't matter if I stumble through. And that's another thing. I don't care about stuff like that. I just care about learning it so I can actually get the information. So don't judge me or whatever. All I'm trying to do is get the help and make sure you guys get the help. So if I say something like, hello everyone, I'm Kim Jacobs. I'm the balance doctor. And many of you may know I have 5 children, been married for 26 years, pastor's wife, ministry, business owner, all kinds of different aspects of life. So I know how hard it is to be able to balance so many different hats in life. How do you be able to manage dealing with teenagers? How do you deal with a child that passed away? You name it. I've pretty much experienced it, because I don't want to say I'm every woman, but I can definitely relate to every woman. And so if you're watching the show, my desire is to be able to help you with every aspect of life that you may experience, whether it's from cradle to grave, caring for even elderly parents and beyond our lifetime, even afterlife. What's going to happen to us even after we pass away? So my goal is to provide you with real, relevant, and relatable information on the Kim Jacobs Show that's going to be able to impact your life in some capacity along this life journey. So that's why I have William Featherstone III on, because some of you are trying to figure out how to balance your business through COVID and trying to do it online, and you don't have that marketing expertise. So this piece of the balance is, how do you brand yourself?
No, that's perfect, right? You covered who you help, why you help them, who you are, your story. I can leave away from that and say, you know what, that resonates with me. I'm going through something. I could use some help. I just recently went through a death. You're somebody that I know now that I can come and talk to, share, the pains and the healing that I'm going through, and that you'll understand, right? And I think that's key for people, for brands, for anything. When you're communicating your message, you can either communicate it just to put it out, or you can communicate it so that people can understand you and then come to you for the value that you bring. You just share with me all the value that you bring to a person like me, right?
Well, that's nice, but now here's the flip side of this.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't all of these people
Mm-hmm.
subscribing to the Kim Jacobs Show?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, let me put a shameless plug in right there, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't subscribed to, no, forget me. Forget me talking about it. William Featherstone.
Mm-hmm.
Every day on the Kim Jacobs Show, I talk to people about subscribing, and my son say, hit that smash notification button and all that drama. Okay, maybe 2 or 3 more people may subscribe that day, maybe 10, 11. People do go and do it. Right. Maybe you can help me say something today that would be the thing that would really get them to do it in droves. Come on, help me, William.
See, now that part is where the expectation of what social media does is sometimes confusing, right? Because you see so many people going viral, you see so many people having all of these followers and all of this other stuff, but it's really just you staying committed to your plan, first developing a plan, then staying committed to your plan, because 2, 3, 10, whatever that is, as you're continuing to go, what you're doing is you're creating content, right? You're creating content and you're bringing value. People may not see it as of right now, but people will see it in the future. And then you'll know who these people are, because you're going to be like, I remember when you were doing, they're going to be like, hey, I remember when you were doing this and that. And
begging. You were begging.
Yeah, you were in your living room and, had the picture in the background, but now you're on stage and you're bringing a live studio audience, right? What I really talk about is this is your story now. This isn't the end. And the only way that it stops is if you stop. This is why I really focus on like your story is your brand. And if you commit to your story, you commit to what you're doing, your purpose, then you can take that and brand that piece. You got to think about artists. Like, I know some people that I've listened to since they were like underground artists, and I was listening to their records and CDs. And I know people, people know them for, I remember when their mixtape was out, or I remember when they was on records and all this other stuff. To now they're very popular, they're mainstream, so on and so on. Now everybody else knows them. That's someone that committed to their plan, executed it, and now that the droves know about them, the people that were with them earlier on as well are with them at the same time. So I encourage people to think that way about social media, right? You're doing the work right now to bring value to your community. At some point, it's going to continue to happen. You just got to commit to seeing it all the way through.
You're doing it. You're really motivating me, William. Featherstone III. Now I'm gonna do one more plug, because this right here, this is good. I feel like I'm in class right now, guys. I don't know what you all are experiencing on your end in the virtual studio audience, but I personally, let me see here. Yeah, okay. So I thank you, Morgan. I personally feel like I'm in class, and y'all are in class with me, so you should be typing and asking your questions too. But listen, let me just take one moment and encourage you. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to serve you on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show. The only way that the show succeeds is if you guys be a part of the studio audience, if you share what you want to hear more of, if you even share that, hey, I want to be a guest, raise your hand and say, I want to come on the Kim Jacobs Show. My goal is to be able to help you from cradle to grave, balance every aspect of life, provide you with real, relevant, and even relatable content that's right now. What do you need to make your life better? How do you better balance your life now? Listen, go and just subscribe. Take a moment. Subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. Turn on your notifications. Why should you do that? Tell me if I'm doing okay, William.
No, you're doing perfect. Continue.
Okay. You're like, what am I doing? Where am I? Then what kind of interview is this?
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so why should you subscribe? Because you don't want to miss when William Featherstone III or when anybody that comes on, like tomorrow. I have Chris Diorio. He's actually a comedian that's going to be, and he became a comedian because he's helped people with cystic fibrosis through the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and Stand Out. He's going to be a guest on my show tomorrow. Listen, you don't want to miss all of this great information that's going to be. Let me ask you, William, is it cheesy to say great information whenever you're talking about your own self? Because it's not me. I'm talking about my guests, you.
Yeah. No. It's not cheesy at all, especially when you come through and you show up and give great information.
Okay, because sometimes I wonder if the wording is weird. Is somebody laughing in the background?
No, no, I don't think it's weird. You know, you bring
Okay,
in valuable
in
information.
your background.
No. No one's in here laughing. I hope not.
That's funny. But you don't think it's weird to say great? Like for me, I say great or awesome or is incredible guest because it's guests like you that's on the show.
No,
Not because we're talking about the Kim Jacobs show.
No, I don't think it's weird. It's crazy how, entrepreneurs kind of second guess themselves, especially when they're talking about themselves. Do you find that kind of awkward sometimes, to try to speak highly of yourself in front of people without feeling like you're tooting your own horn? But it's important that if nobody else is going to do it, it's our responsibility to share our stories, to share our greatness. So I'm trying to get more comfortable in that space and not second guess myself and how I present myself and how I explain the value that I bring to people. I encourage you not to do it as well. If it's awesome, if it's great, if it's impactful information that you're bringing, come and see. You'll see. You'll witness it.
Your information is impactful. And your T-shirt that you have, say that slogan because I really love that.
What we think we become. All right. So it's all about mindset. That's one of the things that I've been learning just through entrepreneurship is that I've learned more about me than I have about business. Like I've learned more about the things that I can withstand, the challenges that I can overcome to, commit to things and actually see it all the way through. Right. To look at these failures as lessons. All of those things, challenge you as a human being, just in life. So to try to bring an idea that you have in your head to fruition is a challenge in itself. So you have to be very cognizant of how you're thinking, how you think about yourself, the self-talk that you have with yourself. And make sure those things are coming from a very positive place. And when people, share with you, making sure that you filter through those things that, are worth listening to and the things that aren't. So yeah, what we think we become. So you have to watch what you're thinking.
I love it. I'm putting everything that Morgan is typing right there on the screen so everyone can see it. It's all about mindset, what we think we become. And these are quotes directly from William Featherstone III. And now, so you do take on new clients, and do you have like a team that helps with these clients? Because I don't want to call and you be like, Kim, I'm sorry, I'm just these clients. I'm like, what?
So I shared a little bit about like just pivoting in business and pivoting as an entrepreneur. One of the things that I've kind of slowed down on doing was taking on clients individually. Again, I got a lot of people that have kind of shared with me that they want to learn a little bit more so that, they are equipped to make this happen without being having to depend on someone, right? All the time. They want to have at least the ability to go in and do some of the things themselves. Okay. So I've been shifting a little bit and focusing on doing ebooks, doing courses, doing trainings so that I can help the masses. And that's for the people who want to do it themselves. On the other end, the people that want it done for them, I help out through legacy. And that's where we work with people who are looking at their business as a long-term deal. They're looking at building something sustainable, right? Not just another idea to try to make money. They're looking to commit to something that's that's true to them, that's close to them, and build it out.
Good.
With the legacy, that's how I help the people to get it done. That's where I take on clients, and Anthony and I go through a discovery session, which we call the legacy branding blueprint, where, you know, once the session is complete, we take all the things that we discover about you, all the notes, and transform them into a complete, comprehensive branding blueprint that will guide each and every decision you make, so that you can stay true to your vision and position yourself as a brand for a long-lasting success. So
I love it. So now people can register for these online courses or classes do you have that you offer to the community. Where do they go? Is it to legacy.com?
Well, we don't have any of the classes on legacy as of yet. That's something that we are considering doing, since I'm already doing it with my personal brand. But if people are interested in just finding out, you know, the things that I know, I'm sharing that on williamfeatherstone.com. I actually have a free ebook for all of your viewers. As soon as you go to that page, if you click on the guide, the free guide, it'll ask you to enter in your name and email, and then it'll send off the free guide talking about storytelling and using it for your branding.
Good. Okay. So listen, everyone, you can definitely get a free copy of an ebook that William Featherstone is at williamfeatherstone.com.
Williamfeatherstone.com.
Williamfeatherstone.com. And right in the very beginning, I went there already. It shows you where you can hit to get your free ebook, and it tells you about stories. I didn't order mine yet, but I did. I went on your website and went through. So don't run out. Don't listen. Just make sure you know that Kim Jacobs needs a case study. Okay.
We'll make sure you get one.
Anthony. Oh, you said Anthony is his name?
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah. So tell Anthony y'all need to work with Kim Jacobs too. Okay.
No,
it's brand new when I call.
No, we won't.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, hey, everybody, we're getting ready to do a flash round. And the way this works, just so you know, William, is the studio audience starts asking questions, and they may have questions specific to what they're dealing with, or just they send a shout out as well. So make sure you guys know that the flash round is now. Let me put that up. Flash round, any questions or comments, go ahead and start posting them now so that he can take a moment to answer them for you. So this question came from Theresa Long. How do I get in touch with him? Okay.
So the easiest way to get in contact with me is to go through Legacy. We've worked on processes to make sure that, you know, we can give the best to you guys. And when we get on the phone and talk, that is valuable time. We respect your time. We respect ours. If we spend 30 minutes together, we want to make sure that you leave with something. So going to legacy.com, clicking on the Let's Connect or Let's Talk will get you to us. It'll allow you to fill out the forms, share a little bit about what your business is, what you're looking to do. And then from there, we can hop on the phone and discuss, you know, how we think we can help based on the information that you provided for us. The one thing that I always like to say is that if you want the best from us, you got to give us as much as you can, right? So I would rather have more information than less. You know, one sentence, one line words, like they're not going to help you in getting the results that you want. So given as much detail as you have in our forms and through our process, and even when we talk, share it all, because that's going to allow us to get to know you better so that we can actually do work for you better.
I just love your personality. You seem such a nice, you're a handsome young man.
Thank you.
And you're very pleasant, and it's really good. You have a good brand. You come across very believable, and then you get your nice glasses on. I am here to serve. I love it. You have a great smile. You just seem like an overall. Again, guys, when people come on the Kim Jacobs Show, I don't know. I really don't know the majority of the people that are on this show. I get the opportunity to meet them like you do. So I'm really impressed to meet you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate all those compliments. It's hard for me to accept those too. No, but I'm in a space where it's like you got to be able to appreciate the blessings and the words that people say.
Oh yeah.
So I thank you for that.
Well, yeah, I get a chance to compliment other people easily. I don't have a problem saying, "Oh, kudos, I love it." But then when I come to talking about myself, sometimes I'm not as I don't want to be like, oh, hey, I am wonderful. I am everything. But I mean, fearfully and wonderfully made in Christ. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Cassandra says, thank you, William. This is great information for entrepreneurs. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for checking in too.
Yes. And Cassandra, make sure we share this too with the Mother Dreamers. Any of you that are part of the Mother Dreamer movement, and just so you know what that is, William, it's a group that I started with mothers that have goals and dreams. And I'm a big believer that the best way to encourage your children to be the best that they can be is by leading by example and letting them see you pursue your goals and your dreams. And so my children, we have roundtable discussions. They're like, Mom, this is not working. You need to do this. You need to get on TikTok. They tell me all kind of stuff. So they help me be a better dreamer because they participate in my goals and dreams. So if you don't know, you can check out motherdreamer.com. And if you want to join the Mother Dreamer movement, it's motherdreamer.com/join. So that's something that was a group of mothers from all walks of life. Some do Tupperware, some do dental work. You have corporate people that are in the corporate world, climbing the corporate ladder, others that are entrepreneurs. Definitely check out motherdreamer.com. And you can also just go right to our Facebook page and like the page as well. So let's see. Okay, that's my mom is on here. My mom said, good morning, Kim and William. Great show.
Hi, Mom.
Mommy. Okay, Theresa Long says, handsome young man. Yeah.
Thank you.
So see, that's a part of your brand too. That's why you had us. I did see that picture. You like, hear your say, like yeah. I was like, who do that? Just like turn sideways. I never did that before, ever. Just turn sideways and be like, what's up?
You know what's funny about that? That picture was taken by 11-year-old young man, right? Someone who just wanted to start learning about branding and marketing and creating things. And there was a picture that was taken with, I think it was with an iPhone, and he did such a good job. I was like, man, I'm going to use that. I like it. I can do something with it. I filtered it through, my trust tree, of my round table. And they said, yeah, man, go ahead and put it up. I think it'll look right. So
it looks great. It's great. And see, you can tell it's great anytime the host of the show is still talking about it. Like, what? Why are you talking about that?
Making me blush.
But this is great. This is great information. You already shared how you got started in marketing and branding. But what's the difference between marketing and branding? Because there's a difference I hear from you, actually. So what's the difference?
Right. So most people kind of lump this together. They kind of look at marketing, branding all as the same thing. But, marketing is more so like the act of promoting a product or a service. So you got to think of it like your flyers, your ads, your commercials, campaigns, etc. The brand is what people think when they hear or see your name. So for example, when I say Golden Arches, you think a particular business.
Right.
I say electric cars, you think about a particular business. I say coffee, you think about a particular business.
Even though I'm not getting paid advertisement for it, my friends gave me this.
See, like I'll ask you a question. So when you need to find something online, what do?
Go to Williams Featherstone. Third. See, I
appreciate the plug.
WilliamFeatherstone.com. That's what you go to.
There you go. You're 100% right.
Or legacy.com.
There we go.
I was going to think like that, right?
Yep. I like this. Awesome host. But most people say, they Google it, right? I'll go Google it now. Google has created a brand that has cornered a whole market of searching, right? No one uses Lycos or AOL or any of those things anymore. When you need to find something, you go to Google or you go to YouTube. Right. So those people have kind of cornered the market in what you think about when you think of a certain thing. That's what your brand is. That's what you want to build with your brand. When someone thinks of Kim Jacobs or they think about John Doe, or they think about ABC Business, it should be extremely clear with, this person brings value in this space. So that's what the branding is. More of your purpose. It's like, what do you exist for? What is your intent? and being clear in that. The brand communicates that, and that encompasses everything. Like if you have that as your foundation, your marketing, your flyers, your ads, everything filters through that and communicates that message. So that's the way I kind of explain it. I don't know if it hits home with everyone all the time, but
that's very clear. What you're saying, very clear.
Yeah.
And so why is the branding piece more important first versus the marketing? So what order do you put that in, and why?
Yeah, definitely the branding first, right? Because it really uncovers your why and why you're creating the business. A lot of people don't want to think about that. They get, excited about all the things that make a business fun. Creating a logo, creating the flyers, being able to tell people that they have a business. But even I was that way, right? The way that I got to where I am is because I was just doing so much for so many people and being stressed in, trying to do all things. But then I had to get clear on what my why was and what my purpose was.
Right.
And if you can get clear in that, then your marketing will work better for you because it'll attract the people that you're saying that you want to serve. So that's why it's important to focus on your brand first, so that when it's clear, you understand your purpose. When you market, you're attracting the people that you really want to serve and not just everyone.
I love this. I love it. I'm learning a lot, and I'll go back and actually watch the replay myself and take some notes. I'm over here. I was leaning like this. I said, "Kim, focus." And you actually not in the class. You're interviewing the man, so you have to focus for a second. I'll go back and watch my own show so I can learn more from you, William, because this is great information that you're sharing. And another thing, this is just a dilemma that I run into. So sometimes I feel like some things that we experience. Now, remember, everybody, you're at the microphone and in your virtual studio audience. You can type your questions, your shout outs, comments, anything that you're dealing with that you want William to help with. We have a few more minutes on the show, and I like to make sure we get your comments in. Listen, now, if you have people like myself that manage multiple entities, how do we, like I have Gabe's Heart Foundation. And that's its own brand. Gabe's Heart Foundation is its own brand. Then I have Kim Jacobs Show and the Balance Doctor component. But then I also have other aspects of life, like I have an online store that people can get products and different things from. How do I not let my brand get too messy? The right wording, because I don't know, because all of them are important. Each of these are important.
Right. So for me, like my suggestion directly to you is that first and foremost, you're a founder, right? You have 3 different entities at least. And I usually try to get people to narrow it down to 3. You're not the only one that's like this. Like we have so many different things that we want to do. We're creative. We have the ability to do it.
Right.
But then we try to limit ourselves to like being one thing. And that's not necessary. Like I really like videography, right? So I do some of that sometimes, and I do it through my marketing. I built an entity that allows me to kind of do that in that space. What I share with you is that you got to look at it as people are coming through a different door through each one of those. So if they come through this e-commerce store that you have, they're knowing you one way.
Right.
People that are coming through the show, they're going to understand you another way. And people who come in through the foundation are going to understand you another way. And as they come through those doors, at some point, all of these entities have one thing in common, and that's you. So what I would say is that Kim Jacobs is the founder, right? There needs to be a brand of Kim Jacobs, who is founder of this nonprofit, who also has an e-commerce store, who also does this show that highlights other people. And all of these things have something in common with your purpose and what you're looking to fulfill. Our conversation would be, well, what is your purpose? Right? What are you looking to fulfill? Why do you have all these things? And then figure out a strategy for making them all work together cohesively, right? So that when you get donations from your e-commerce, or you get purchases from your e-commerce store, maybe that's something that you take a percentage and you give back to your nonprofit, because this is something that you want to fund. That e-commerce store may be like a Tom's. Every time you purchase something here, it goes to a good cause. And
I'm about to speak in code tongues. This is good stuff.
So that's the way I look at it. It's like you're creating these things for a reason. Our job is to try to help you make it make sense and make it more purposeful, so that it's just not happening. It's happening with real intent, and you're purposeful with it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I actually went through a training with Pamela Howard, and she's a part of our Mother Dreamer movement, and she helps people with event planning and all kinds of things. And it's very professional services that she offers. But one thing that I established was the why a lot of this is important to me. So one thing for me is that I want women, specifically women, to know that no matter what circumstances, no matter what situations, no matter how overwhelming, how things that's happened to us in life that were done to us that we never, that's beyond our control, no matter what comes, no matter what goes, we can make it. And that's what I want women to know, that, and it's not like a downplay of, oh, just get over what you've been through. I really despise when people try to just brush people off and be like, oh, sweetheart, you'll be okay. No, you don't know what that person went through, and what they went through was real and traumatic for them. Whether I ever experienced it or not, you know what I'm saying? And so I just like to make sure that I encourage people from all walks of life, not just women, but I just have an affinity towards, women, knowing that some things are gonna happen to us that we never ever knew were even possible or planned for or could foresee or predict. And here, whoop, here it is,
Yeah.
So how do I encourage those women through that?
So what I hear is that you're the example, right? That's what this is. At the end of it all, Kim Jacobs, the founder, is the example of this, right? And I'm showing you this through the business that I build, through the nonprofit that I launch, through the show, and I sharing your messages.
All right, I'm about to take notes.
I understand. I got a notebook right here as well. I always take notes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, this is good. Okay, wow. Let me go to audience. Let me just go back to audience person. Somebody says, Rosalind says, I'm just plugging in, but what is your why?
My why? I really, so story is important to me. Family is important to me. A lot of where I am now, after I started digging, I have 11 uncles and aunts on both sides of my family. And on one side, everyone has been an entrepreneur, so I didn't know this until I started digging and trying to figure out, why do I really want to pursue helping others in this space? But that's kind of in our blood, it's kind of where we are. And I really love my own personal story. And I really love hearing other people's story as well. And a lot of times what I'm finding now is that the businesses that I work with, I really like that they have a purpose. They're looking to impact a community in some way, shape, or form, and bring value to their community. And I try to align myself with those type of people because they fit in with what I stand for. I really want to impact my community, my family. I really want to be able to share with others that you can do something no matter where you come from or your background or your skill set. You have the ability to learn. You have the ability to do things that you probably didn't even imagine that you could do. And you have value. You bring value, and your story is equally important to the success of somebody else. You may not even know that, but you sharing your story is important, and it inspires someone else.
Wow, that's a great why.
Yeah.
Great why, Rosalind. I hope that answered your question. And if you were asking me what my why is why I'm so driven right now, in particular, to get this show going and to make sure that it becomes what I know God created it to become, is because I have 5 children, and one of my children passed away. And even though I know he lived a great life on this earth, went to Hawaii, did all kind of great things, anti-bullying mediator, you name it, he had a great experience on this earth. He wanted for nothing. So I know that he had a great life. But to have a child transition home and know that I haven't lived my whole life's dreams and purpose where he got to witness it, now he's witnessing it only from heaven. I just don't want any other child of mine now that I know that could even happen, I don't want any other child of mine on my watch to pass without them seeing their mother giving everything they have, everything I have, everything I have to make my dream become a reality. So that's my why, is I want my son who's celebrating in heaven to see me living my dream and being an example so that my other children that are on this earth go and live their life to their fullest as well. So, okay, let's see. Any more questions? So what's next for you, Mr. William Featherstone?
Yeah, what's next for me is definitely helping out other entrepreneurs just on a bigger scale. That's going to be through the courses. I'm really considering launching a mastermind group of people who are really serious, and maybe setting aside 6 months to where we can literally just get down to executing the work and stop talking about the idea. Like, here's the work that needs to be done. Here are the people that can help you out with it. Here's how you can do it yourself, and guide them through. So that's been weighing heavy on me to do that. So I think that's what the next phase for me is, and to really focus in on legacy.com to make sure that we're serving people that are looking to build an impact, people who are ready to take their business to the next level, people who are taking it seriously, and just, understand that they bring one thing to the table, and they're really willing to partner with somebody to help bring their idea all the way to fruition, the way that they see it in their mind.
Very, very good. And definitely, if you have to use a guinea pig as a case study, you can use Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show and say, Kim, we're going to dissect this, say what you're doing wrong, what you need to do, and let people see it happen right here on this Mastermind 6-month course. And they can see me blossom right under William Featherstone III and Anthony. Okay, Rosalind said, wow, beautiful. Thank you both for so much. And to know that I don't have to limit my why.
Mm-hmm.
Super. Next phase. So many of you that are watching today, and even if you're going back and watching the replay, if any of you are interested in the mastermind, type mastermind so that he can definitely see that you are someone that's interested in being a part of his mastermind course. Type mastermind, and he'll go back and see those comments later and get that information to you. Let's see. Wow, I love both of you. My mom, she loved Will. My mom does not know you at all. I didn't even know you before the show. Now my mom loves you. She's like, I love both of you, and I love both of your why. You don't even know this man.
I love you too, Miss Ella.
That's my mama. She's like, yes, I love y'all. Okay. Rosalind said, and use Rosalind Patterson too. Oh, she wants to be a case study too.
Done.
More there. Okay. So these are some of the comments that came in. And I thank you all. Y'all have been a tremendous studio audience. A lot of people come back later and watch the replay. Some people are hearing this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Deezer, SoundCloud. So it's a lot of different people that'll get this throughout today on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. Please make sure you do that on YouTube and turn on your notifications. I do want to let everybody know that we do have a prayer line. It's from 12 to 12:30, Monday through Friday on Quest Church prayer line. And we encourage you, there's prayer that's taking place for COVID-19, all that's happening in our society right now. People are getting prayed for on that line. And so make sure you can just go and listen in on the prayer line, 978-990-5000. Access code is 322083#, and it's from 12 to 12:30. And so usually when I pop off my own show, I jump right onto the prayer line and listen to the prayer myself. I'm trying to think, is there any other closing comments, anything that you want people to know? Before you say your closing comments, what is your main tip for people that's dealing with COVID-19? Because we're about to close. We have about another minute or two. Mm-hmm. And people are stuck in their homes. They're trying to expand their businesses. Any main takeaway for people?
Yeah, you got to be online. A lot of this is what the future looks like, right? So take into account that the future is going to be online. So if you're a brick and mortar business, or your business hasn't establish a presence online, then it's unfortunately you're going to expire, right? You're going to extinct in the space. So definitely figure out how to get online. One of the easiest things to do is get on social media. It's free, and share with people what it is that you do, what you provide, the value that you bring, and who do you help, right? Those things, if you can answer those things clearly and continue to tell people about that, that's what you can use social media for. But then establishing, a website and then processes for your business, so that you can scale. Right. A lot of businesses don't think process first, but put your business online, then understand what your process is. After you understand what your process is, you can really scale your business at that point.
Very good information. Make sure you guys go check out williamfeatherstone.com. Make sure you get the free ebook. Is that where they get the ebook? Is
Yep,
on
get
okay.
the free ebook right there.
Featherstone.com is where you get your free ebook. Put your information in there and he'll send you that ebook right away. And that's some good information that he's already shared so much powerful information right here on the show. What we think we become. It's all about your mindset. These are all things that William Featherstone talked about in detail today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have Chris Diorio, who is a comedian, and he works heavily to help with cystic fibrosis. And if you know me, you know that 3 of my children have cystic fibrosis. And so I definitely want you to tune in and hear his comedy as well as his story and why he's so passionate about cystic fibrosis, which is a part of my additional brand. I'm very passionate about cystic fibrosis as well. So thank you for being my guest today, William.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that you had a great experience too. I don't know where this comment is to be able to take it down for a second, because it's like here. There's so many comments over there. Thank you for being my guest. Did you have a good experience on the show?
I had an awesome experience, like talking to an old friend.
Oh, okay, that makes me feel good. All right, let's see. Any other final comments? This is good. We're gonna get you all to make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and make sure you turn on your notifications and subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube. Somebody says, your passion and grace is beautiful, Kim. Okay, thank you so much, Rosalind. All right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. William, stay back there. I'm going to talk to you for a second, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. God bless you all. Bye-bye.